Okay, so I've got my notes here, and this is going to be a theory video based on some things I've thought about throughout the episodes watching Yashahime. Some of these I think are still valid and can possibly come to pass. So the first one is about the twins' hair. The streaks in their hair. I have been told numerous times that that probably doesn't mean anything, like, at all. That it's probably just a birthmark. But when the twins were babies, those streaks were not, they hadn't grown. They weren't long at all. So now I'm thinking that maybe it's linked to their demonic or something like that, because Setsuna has been growing. Maybe it grows every time you use demonic energy. Moroha has the same issue, but she doesn't have that limitation. It just strains her heart. Of course, we know that Sota, her adoptive father, Kagome's brother, made her promise not to use her powers while she was in the modern era. So I'm wondering if maybe now that she's using it, maybe that means it'll grow, maybe her hair will grow. So that was one theory, but here we go with another one. Okay, I've always believed that there's some kind of time paradox going on where the timelines are overlapping. We've already seen a whole slew of characters that supposedly died or grew up. Hopefully they grew up in the original series, like the girl that spoke, that interacted, spent time with, and adored Kikyo. I think her name was actually Chio. During the dream-gazing trap, we saw Takachio's dream from Moroha's perspective. Guys, I can't talk. From Moroha's perspective. So the monk that supposedly left Takachio with Jubei, it looks like Moroku, but he doesn't talk at all. He doesn't speak in the original Japanese, and he doesn't speak in the English version. He just nods or shakes his head. So the monk looks like Moroku, but what if it's not? What if it's like Moroku's dad? I know a lot of people think it might be Hachi, but, I'm thinking it looks a lot like Moroku. I know Hachi can turn into Moroku, but I don't know, guys. I'm thinking that if that monk was Moroku's dad, then Jubei's from the past. That little raccoon dog that we interact with all the time could be Hachi's dad. I know that's a stretch, and it's probably not right, but it's just a thought that crossed my mind. So they could be stuck in the time period prior to Moroku's existence in certain areas of the map. Like, obviously not all the time, because we've seen Moroku, and I could be wrong about all of this. But, possibilities. I mean, we know Kiranmaru is messing around with the timeline, or time manipulation and all that. But on to the next. I actually got from a fellow YouTuber, and one of her friends actually came up with this, and I really like it. So, here it is. Kiranmaru is incomplete. He has 3 incarnations, one being Beast King, the second one is Riku, and then there is Osamu Kirin. I'm not so sure if that's true anymore, at least about Riku, unless he's like a younger version. He could be a past version of Kiranmaru, because I really think that he might be Midorika's son. I'll get to that in a minute. Oh, well, here we go. I believe his mother was Midoriko, meaning he fell in love with a human, just like Sesshomaru. Hence why they're walking down the same path. That's just my opinion, but I think that's a pretty good one, you know? Sesshomaru was there during the Tree of Ages proposal to his daughters, and he heard everything, which is why he shows up to fight Kiranmaru. Makes sense, right? I mean, why would he be there? I wonder. The Tree of Ages was granted the ability to take human form by the memories held on one of Kikyo's sacred arrows. Is this bullshit? And who allowed this, I wonder? Yeah, I think that someone, probably Sesshomaru, made a deal with her. I think he's using the tree, or he was using her, or it, to do something. Yeah, I think he's using her. It. Sorry, I keep saying her. I mean it. The Tree of Ages. But yeah, why? If he's not using her, why? It! God! I keep saying her. Looks like Kikyo, okay? I'm sorry. So, I'm having trouble reading, okay? Don't judge me. Yeah, I think he made a deal with the tree to hide Ren's spirit and consciousness, and that explains why his appearance almost seems younger in Yashahime, because I think that he reversed his own time in a way, because he asked her to steal half of him away as well, so he could be with her. Well, obviously he looks a little bit younger in Yashahime, but more solid evidence of this is his Moko. You know, the furry thing hangs over his. It's really short, and it was super long in the final act, but when he walked away, you could see the bottom of it dangling just above his ankles, which I didn't notice at first. I actually heard it from some other observers. Most of this stuff came from other observers. Anyway, before I get to this next one, I'm just going to elaborate. Midoriko. I really think she's playing a huge part in Yashahime. And at this point, I think there's definitely going to be a second season, because she wore the green pearls, the green pearl necklace that we see Jubei with. You see here? These are the green pearls. These are the green pearls that were given to Jubei in Yashahime. So I don't have any doubt that Midoriko was somehow an influence here. She had to be. I mean, this looks exactly like the necklace Jubei was wearing. So, I don't know. Yeah, people were saying that Kiranmaru had an affair with Midoriko, and that is how Riku came to be. I do have a few other pictures on here that I haven't talked about. So I wonder what the relationship between Sesshomaru's mom and this Zero character. They both have the same outfit pattern. I'm sure someone's noticed that. But she said she was humiliated by Toga. Well, the great dog demon. I wonder if she was talking about Toga, or I'm thinking maybe I'm just gonna say it. I know I've already said it and stepped into that can of worms. So my first theory was that these two are sisters. Or maybe mother and daughter. Zero could be Sesshomaru's grandmother. That could also explain why Inukimi was nowhere to be found in that episode where they all went to her palace. She could have been avoiding questions and being put on the spot. So I'm thinking she is either her sister or mother. I could be wrong about that. I have no idea. I really don't. If on the flip side it really was Toga that humiliated her, maybe Zero is Inukimi's mother, and she was humiliated when Toga cheated on her daughter. Now that's one theory. If they're not related at all, maybe Toga chose Inukimi over her. But again, it's just more to think about. Toga's getting some. He's been a little aloof. Looks like. Poor Sesshomaru. He's caught all up in the middle of this. First, let me talk about Jaken. Jaken, he was the one that had to look over the girls in the forest for a while after the barrier was put up. I truly believe that Sesshomaru has been dealing with this issue for the past 14 years. I really don't think he's been ignoring the fact that he has children or a wife to look after. He's been doing his best to protect everyone. That was made clear when he trapped Inuyasha and Kagome in the Black Pearl. He told Kirimaru that he did it because they were going to need the Mado. But anyway, he's protecting everybody. Jaken, his job was to protect the girls inside the barrier. And I believe that's because of the pearls in their eyes. Sesshomaru said that they were made from Zero's tears, or at least something like that. And maybe that's why she wasn't able to locate the girl until she used the dream-gazing trap. She found Yotsume, and she was able to use the dream-gazing trap. On who, though? I think it was this little guy here, because he said that he was going to bring Rin to the tree to help raise her daughter. But here's my theory. I think that when he let the barrier down and left to go get her, that he was captured, maybe? And that's how she was able to use the dream gazing on him to find them. And maybe also Rin? Maybe she's the one who trapped her in the tree? But Sesshomaru didn't hear that part. It's already been circulating. We've got people saying that there's no nourishment, food or water inside the Black Pearl. And on the off chance that Kirimaru has already done something to the timeline, I think it might be a lot. Yeah, that's a stretch, But, she might be alive. And Naraku would probably not exist because he was created out of multiple demons that ate his soul because he was jealous and in despair. He was being cared for by Kikyo because he was dying from an injury. And also, there's no Shikon Jewel anymore. So, anyway, yeah, those are my theories.